The Tour Preferred irons, I think, are so significant in their advancement of the art and the science of irons. I don't think we've seen anything like it before. And I say that not flippantly. I say that because if you look into the bags of tour players and you see 3 years ago or 2 years ago even, how many of these players were playing forged blades. And if you looked at those clubs, and honestly, if you hit those clubs next to a TrackMan with clubs that were forged blades from 60 years ago, and you didn't tell the TrackMan that you actually changed clubs, you wouldn't be able to decipher the difference between a club from 70 years ago. And I find it interesting and sort of mind-blowing that the one piece of equipment that has changed the least is the one that accounts for most of your shots, scoring shots on a golf course, other than a putter. Irons just have not changed, which just means to us that it's so ripe for innovation. It's so ripe for new ideas and new thinking and, busting of myths and breaking down of conventional thought. And usually when you have these incredible performance breakthroughs, it's a combination of one or two or three different technologies that really kind of blows the lid off everything. So we took these faces, which produce these really, really fast speeds, and we went back behind the center of the face and we slowed it down. And by doing that, we took the area that produces constant launch angle, constant ball speed, and constant spin rate, and we increased it from about the size of a dime to larger than the size of a quarter. So what does that mean? Now, because we were able to take these springy faces, we've taken the area where you're going to have really predictable distances from this tiny little spot in the middle of the club to something that's much larger. So if you go now to the best players in the world and you tell them, hey, look, you don't have to do anything this year, except for you need to change from those old muscle back clubs into these. And you're gonna see that your distance control is gonna go up dramatically. And what does that mean? It means your proximity to the hole, those stats, are gonna become a lot better. When we look at the different clubs that we designed for the Tour Preferred iron lineup, the first one being MB, and you would sort of look at, geez, why would TaylorMade even do a muscle back? I mean, we really stand for this intersection of art and science and bringing these clubs together that have broken all these performance barriers. The thing that we really wanted to focus on and concentrate on is using that as really a canvas for artwork and making sure that we did the things that the very best players in the world, when they look down at a club like that, just say, you know what, these guys really know what the hell they're doing. All those little subtle blends that if you don't do them right, it's really obvious that you don't know what you're doing. And if you do them really right, when you look at that, you have a chance at a club like that from just pure aesthetics becoming really iconic. And I think the MC iron is really what the Tour Preferred franchise is all about. Because when you look at that club, you would say it's the most beautiful iron I've ever seen. And I think if you had it in the playing position and you didn't look at it from the back or the sole, you would have no idea what you're looking at. So that is so sort of respectful of a good player's discerning eye. When you go to the MC, we begin to take this technology that we get from thinner faces that are a little bit more flexible, from inverted cone technology that begins to spread an area of constant launch angle and ball speed and spin rate to an area that's a little bit bigger, so your distance predictability is going to increase. And then you take the slot, which really kind of makes all of that possible, and we begin to see a level of performance that other companies and other clubs don't match. And that's sort of the beginning of it. And then we take that all the way, sort of totally unplugged. The Tour Preferred CB iron is really all we know. It's all of the great performance technologies and innovations that we have, and it's put into a package that's going to look incredibly exciting and I think lustful almost to the really, really good players in the world. The way the clubs are going to perform from 3 to the pitching wedge, all the way through with thin faces, with slots through to the 7 iron, with deep undercut cavities, with incredible feel, incredible sound, unbelievable distance control. It's really this idea of forgiveness in a package that also gives you all of the benefits of all these other technologies and control over your golf ball. It's an iron that's never been produced before, and I think When you go back and look at clubs that are redefining in certain segments, I think the CB is going to be the one that everybody refers to. I think it will be iconic. I think there are golfers for all three, and I think ultimately, more and more as we go, we'll discover the incredible playability of this CB club. It's magnificent. When you go into some of the very best players on our staff, some of the best players in the world, and look at their bags, and I would say Justin Rose comes to mind. Many players do, actually. Sean O'Hare has been this way. Sabatini has been this way. Jason Day has been this way, where you'll start to see a mixed set. So they have looked at the 3, 4, 5, and 6 of Rocket Blades tours, or now these MC irons that have this incredible technology that does totally different things to a golf ball in flight in very positive ways, and they want that. But they're not quite ready to jump all the way with an 8, 9, and wedge, or they're looking for things maybe a little bit differently than a lot of other good players, and want the feedback and sort of the look and sound and feel of kind of an old trusted friend, like the forged irons of the MCs. So that was really something for us to go into the best players in the world, go into some of these golf bags, see what they have, and see if we couldn't give them something maybe even a little bit better. Yeah, I think these new Tour Preferred irons from the MB, which I think is just this incredibly beautiful work of art, and just the amount of time we took on getting all of the really tiny little minute details that most people would never ever see or think about even looking for. If you really got out almost a loop and looked at this club, it's spectacular. So that, I think, is going to become iconic in that it's just so wonderfully executed. But I think the other two clubs really, to me, are the essence of the TaylorMade brand and Tour Preferred as a sub-brand. It's we took all of the things that we learned from the beautiful shaping exercise that we did in MB, and we took the science and innovation and technology that is really the hallmark of our company at TaylorMade and brought them together, and the fusion really is this MC and the CB, these clubs that perform at a level so far superior that I think those clubs are going to go down as some of the most beautiful and high-performing players' irons of all time.